Look at your hand right now. Whatever shade it is, whether you're pale enough to be mistaken for a piece of printer paper or dark enough to absorb sunlight like a solar panel, that color didn't come from nowhere. It came from a 300,000-year argument between your ancestors and the sun. And the sun, for the record, was not playing fair. Here's the part that breaks people's brains. Every single human being who has ever lived, every ancestor, every civilization, every cave painter, traces back to one founding population, one group of people, and every single one of them had dark skin. Not most of them, all of them. Light skin didn't exist. The concept hadn't been invented yet. And then something happened. Something so powerful, it rewired the biology of entire continents. So what was it? The answer involves cancer, pregnancy, vitamin D, a farming mistake, and a star 93 million miles away that caused all of this and has absolutely zero regrets. Let's start with why dark skin existed in the first place.
Skin gets its color from a pigment called melanin, and melanin is, in the most literal biological sense, a built-in sunscreen. The more melanin, the darker the skin, and the better it blocks UV radiation, the invisible energy the sun fires at Earth constantly, whether you like it or not. UV radiation is not your friend. It breaks DNA. It causes mutations. And if those mutations pile up in the wrong place long enough, they become melanoma, one of the most aggressive cancers in existence. In equatorial Africa, under some of the most intense UV radiation on the planet, dark skin was non-negotiable. More melanin meant better DNA protection. Better DNA protection meant you survived longer and had more children. Evolution kept it. Simple. But here's where it gets interesting and genuinely weird. UV radiation doesn't just attack your skin, it also destroys something called folate. Folate is a B vitamin that flows through your bloodstream doing quiet, essential work. Specifically, it's critical for developing the brain and spinal cord in embryos. In the first few weeks of pregnancy, sometimes before a woman even knows she's pregnant, insufficient folate can cause the neural tube to fail to close. The consequences are catastrophic. Severe developmental defects, miscarriage.
So dark skin in Africa wasn't protecting one thing. It was protecting two. DNA from cancer, folate from UV destruction. Two completely different threats, one biological solution. If evolution had a review system, dark skin in Africa would be 5 stars, thousands of testimonials, no complaints. So why did it change? Between 70,000 and 100,000 years ago, humans started leaving Africa. Not a dramatic exodus. No announcements, no planning meetings, just slow generational drift. A group moves a little further than their parents. Their children move further still. Over thousands of years, humans spread into Europe, Asia, the Americas. And as they moved north, the sun got weaker. Not the sun itself. The sun remained exactly as indifferent and nuclear as always. But at higher latitudes, UV radiation is filtered through more atmosphere. Days are shorter, winters are long and dark. The sky is gray for months. And suddenly, dark skin, which was perfect in Africa, became a problem.
Not because of cancer. UV was too weak to cause much cancer up north. Not because of folate. Less UV meant less folate destruction. The problem was something else entirely. Vitamin D. Your skin uses UVB radiation to manufacture vitamin D. It literally runs on sunlight. And vitamin D is not optional. Without it, calcium doesn't get absorbed. Without calcium, bones don't form correctly. In children, this causes rickets. Bones so soft they bow outward under body weight. In women, it deforms the pelvis, making childbirth dangerous, sometimes fatal. Vitamin D deficiency doesn't stop at bones. It wrecks the immune system, weakens muscles, and some research links chronic deficiency to depression. When you run out, the body starts failing in multiple systems at once. Now put a dark-skinned person in Northern Europe. Their melanin is doing its job beautifully, blocking UV. But up here, that same melanin is blocking the only UV they need to survive. It can't tell the difference between dangerous UV and useful UV. It just blocks. So they don't make enough vitamin D. Their bones weaken. Their children get rickets. Women die in childbirth. Here's where the obvious story falls apart. Scientists assumed this happened slowly. Thousands of years of gradual drift as people moved north. Ancient DNA proved otherwise. Early European hunter-gatherers lived at northern latitudes for tens of thousands of years and were still significantly dark-skinned. The famous Cheddar Man, a human who lived in Britain 10,000 years ago, had dark skin,
dark curly hair, and blue eyes, a combination that looks bizarre to us now, but was completely normal then. The extremely pale skin associated with Northwestern Europeans today, it spread widely only in the last 6,000 to 8,000 years. In 300,000 years of human history, that's the last 3%. So what changed 6,000 years ago? Farming. When humans switched from hunting and gathering to agriculture, their diet collapsed. Hunter-gatherers ate fatty fish, organ meats, shellfish, some of the richest dietary sources of vitamin D on Earth. Farmers ate wheat, barley, oats. Their vitamin D intake didn't drop, it fell off a cliff. Suddenly, whatever the skin couldn't produce from weak northern sunlight wasn't being replaced by food anymore. The pressure to lighten intensified dramatically. Every generation, slightly less melanin, slightly more vitamin D, slightly more surviving children. The algorithm reversed.
And here's the part nobody tells you. Blue eyes are even newer than that. Every blue-eyed person alive today descends from one individual, one mutation, one moment, somewhere near the Black Sea, roughly 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. Before that one person was born, every human on Earth had brown eyes, no exceptions. Blue eyes are younger than Stonehenge, younger than the domestication of the horse. We treat them like an ancient, fundamental human trait. They're practically a recent invention. So step back and look at the full picture. Skin color? The thing that has divided civilizations, shaped empires, justified atrocities for millennia, is biologically a UV calibration dial. Your body's best guess at how much sun protection your ancestors needed based on the latitude they happen to live at. Dark skin isn't primitive. It's the original setting, the factory default, the baseline. Everything else is a modification. Lighter skin isn't superior. In equatorial environments, it's a liability. Worse cancer protection, more folate destruction, worse reproductive outcomes.
The deepest irony of all, we built centuries of hierarchy and prejudice around what is, at its core, a vitamin D problem. So, knowing that literally every human being on Earth started with dark skin, and that all of this changed because of where people happened to walk to thousands of years ago, does that change how you think about skin color? Tell me in the comments.